Shanter, a Tale by Robert Burns. When Chapman Billies leave the street, and drouthy neighbours meet, as market days are wearing late, and folk begin to tack the gate, when we sit bowsing at the nappy, and getting fou and unco happy, we think now in the lang Scot smiles, the Mossy's water slaps and stiles that lie between us and our hame, where sits our sulky sullen dame, gathering her brows like gathering storm, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. This truth found honest Tam O'Shanter, as he frae air ae night did canter, all there wham ne'er a tune surpasses for honest men and bonny lassies. O Tam, hast thou but been sae wise as ta'en thy ain wife Kate's advice? She told thee weel thou was a skellum, a bletherin', blusterin', drunken bellum, that frae November till October, ae market day thou wasna sober, that ilka murder with the miller, thou sat as lang as thou had siller, that every naig was cad a shoe on, the smith and thee gat roaring fou, that at the Lord's house even on Sunday thou drank wi' Curtin Jean till Monday. She prophesied that late or soon thou would be found deep drowned in Doon, or catched wi' warlocks in the mirk by Alloway's old haunted kirk. Ah, gentle dames, it gars me greet to think how many counsels sweet, how many lengthened sage advices the husband frae the wife despises. But to our tale. Aye market night Tam had got planted unco right, fast by an ingle bleased and finely, where Reman sats that drank divinely, and at his elbow Suitor Johnny, his ancient trusty drouthy Connie. Tam looed him like a very brother, they had been fou for weeks together. The night drave on wi' sangs and clatter, and aye the ale was growing better. The landlady and Tam grew gracious, wi' favour secret, sweet and precious. The suitor told his queerest stories, the landlord's laugh was ready chorus. The storm without might rare and rustle, Tam didna mind the storm a whistle. Care mad to see a man sae happy, he'n droon himself amang the nappy, as bees flee hame wi' lades o' treasure, the minutes winged their way with pleasure. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious, o'er all the ills o' life victorious. But pleasures are like poppies spread, you seize the flower, its bloom is shed, or like the snow falls in the river, a moment white, then melts forever. Or like the borealis race that flit ere you can point their place, or like the rainbow's lovely form evanishing amid the storm. Nae man can tether time nor tide, the hour approaches Tam man ride, that hour o' night's black arch the keystane, that dreary hour he mounts his beast in, and sic a night he tacks the road in, as ne'er poor sinner was abroad in. The wind blew as 'twad blawn its last, the rattling showers rose on the blast, the speedy gleams the darkness swallowed, loud, deep and lang the thunder bellowed. That night a child might understand the deil had business on his hand. Weel mounted on his grey mare Meg, a better never lifted leg, Tam skelpit on through dub and mire, despising wind and rain and fire, whilst holding fast his guid blue bonnet, whilst crooning o'er some old Scots sonnet, whilst glowering round with prudent cares, lest bogles catch him unawares. Kirk Alloway was drawing nigh, where guests and howlets nightly cry. By this time he was crossed the ford, where in the snaw the chapman smoored, and past the birks and Meeklestane, where drunken Charlie Brack's neck bane, and through the whins and by the cairn, where hunters fand the murdered bairn, and near the thorn aboon the well, where Mungo's mither hanged herself. Before him Doon pours all his floods, the doubling storm roars through the woods, the lightnings flash from pole to pole, near and more near the thunders roll, when, glimmering through the groaning trees, Kirk Alloway seems in a breeze. Through ilka bow the beams were glancing, and loud renowned resounded mirth and dancing. Inspiring bold John Barleycorn, what dangers thou canst make us scorn, wi' tippenny we fear nae evil, wi' Usquebaugh we'll face the devil. The swats sae reamed in Tammy's noddle, fair play he cardna deals a boddle, but Maggie stood right sair astonished, till by the heel and hand admonished she ventured forward on the light, and wow, Tam saw an unco sight. Warlocks and witches in a dance, nae Cottelan brent new fae France, but hornpipes, jigs, thrust space and reels, put life and metal in their heels. A winner bunker in the east, there sat old Nick in shape o' beast, a towsy tyke, black, grim, and large, to gie them music was his charge. He screwed the pipes and gart them skirl, till roof and rafters added dirl. Coffins stood round like open presses that shod the deed in their last dresses, and by some devilish cantrip sleight, each in his cold hand held a light, by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the haly table a murderer's banes and gibbet airns, twa span lying wee unchristened bairns, a thief new cutted fae rape, wi' his last gasp his gabooded gape, 5 tomahawks wi' blood red rusted, 5 scimitars wi' murder crusted, a garter had a babe had strangled, a knife a father's throat had mangled, whom his ain son o' life bereft, the grey hairs yet stacked to the heft, wi' mair o' horrible and awful, which even to name would be unlawful. As Tammy glowered, amazed and curious, the mirth and fun grew fast and furious. The piper loud and louder blew, the dancers quick and quicker flew, they reeled, they set, they crossed, they cleekit, till ilka Callan swat and reekit, and coosed their duddies to the wark, and linkit at it in her sark. Now Tam, oh Tam, had they been queens, a plump and strappin' in their teens, their sarks instead o' creeshy flainin', been snow white 1700 linen. Their breeks o' mine, my only pair, that ence were plush o' gid blue hair, I would gie them off my hurdies, for I blink o' the bonny birdies. But withered bedlams old and droll, rig woody hags wad speen a foal, loupin' and flingin' on a crummock, I wonder didna sturn my stomach. But Tam kent what was fou brawly. There was nae winsome wench in Whalley that night enlisted in the core, lang after Kent on Carrick shore, for many a beast to dead she shot, and perished many a bonny boat, and shook baith meikle corn and beer, and kept the countryside in fear. Her cutty sark o' paisley harn, that while a lassie she had worn, in longitude though sorely scanty, it was her best, and she was vaunty. Ah, little kenned thy reverend granny that sark she coughed for her wee nanny. Wi' 12 Scots, 'twas a' her riches, whatever graced a dance of witches. But here my muse her wing maun cour, sic flights are far beyond her power, to sing how Nanny Lap and Flang a supple jade she was and strang, and how Tam stood like ane bewitched, and thought his very een enriched. Even Satan glowered, and fidged fu' fain, and hotched and blew wi' might and main, till first he caper sin another, Tam tint his reason altogether, and roars out, "Weel done, Cutty Sark!" and in an instant all was dark, and scarcely had he Maggie rallied, when out the hellish legion sallied. As bees bizz out with angry fyke, when plundering herds assail their byke, as open pussy's mortal foes, when pop she starts before their nose, as eager runs the market crowd, when catch the thief resounds aloud, so Maggie runs, the witches follow, when money an eldritch skirich can follow. Ah Tam, thou get thy fairn, in hell they'll roast thee like a hern, in vain thy Kate awaits thee comin', Kate soon will be a woeful woman. Now do thy speedy utmost, Meg, and win the keystone o' the brig, there at them thou thy tail may toss, a running stream they darena cross. But ere the keystane she could make, the fiend a tail she had to shake, for Nanny far before the rest hard upon noble Maggie pressed, and flew at Tam with furious ettle, but little twists she Maggie's mettle. I spring brought off her master's hail, but left behind her ain grey tail. The carlin caught her by the rump, and left poor Maggie scarce a stump. Now while this tale of truth shall read, ilk man and mother's son, take heed. Whene'er to drink you are inclined, or cutty sarks run in your mind, think ye may buy the joys o'er dear, remember Tam o' Shanter's mare.